Drake Maye just had one of the best sophomore seasons we've ever seen. He finished the regular season leading qualifying quarterbacks in just about every efficiency-related category you can imagine. He challenged and broke franchise records set by the NFL's greatest player of all time. He helped receiver Stefon Diggs and play caller Josh McDaniels enjoy career renaissances. His MVP case is strong, but that MVP caliber play did not carry over into the playoffs. Through 3 playoff games, Maye has completed 56% of his passes, he's averaged less than 7 yards per attempt, and posted a passer rating of just 84. He's been carried through elimination games by New England's incredible defense, and now faces the toughest challenge of his young football career, set to play the ruthless Seattle Seahawks defense on the biggest stage. Maye's difficulty in the playoffs is, for the most part, related to pressure from the opposing pass rush. His passing numbers under pressure during the playoffs are actually quite good, but this is a great example of how under pressure passing stats can be extraordinarily misleading. When under pressure, Maye has averaged over 10 yards per pass attempt and posted a passer rating of 118, both good for first among quarterbacks in the 2025 playoffs. But those numbers do not account for the 15 sacks Maye has taken in those 3 playoff games. He's been pressured on 33 dropbacks and taken 15 sacks. That's a pressure to sack rate of 45.5%, the highest among qualifying quarterbacks in the playoffs since PFF started tracking it in 2006. Sack avoidance has always been an issue for Maye, but lately his sacks have limited the Patriots' offense like never before. Against competent defenses in bad weather, Maye's worst habits have resurfaced. He's drifting into pressure, turning down open receivers, and holding onto the ball for too long. Of course, some of those sacks are unavoidable, but even on the unavoidable sacks, he's done a poor job of protecting the football. Maye has fumbled 6 times in the playoffs, 4 times against Houston alone, and Seattle is even better than Houston at generating pressure. During the regular season, the Seahawks generated pressure on just under 39% of dropbacks, good for 4th in the league despite blitzing at the league's 8th lowest rate. They generate pressure from a 4-man rush as well as just about anybody else, and you can't just slide the protection one way to slow them down because the pressure comes from every direction. Seattle didn't have anybody finish the regular season with over 60 pressures, but they had 4 players finish with over 45. No other team had more than 3. The Pats offense will need to lean on the quick game, but they won't dink and dunk their way to a win. Explosive passing plays will almost certainly be necessary, and in order to generate explosives through the air when the offense is at a disadvantage up front, the quarterback needs to throw go balls. Luckily for New England, there is no quarterback who completed more go balls during the regular season than Drake Maye. Of Maye's 31 targets to go or fade routes, 14 were complete and 4 resulted in touchdowns. No qualifying quarterback completed pass attempts to such routes at a rate higher than Maye's. On the opposite side, the Seahawks were among the best during the regular season at preventing go ball completions. Of the 22 pass attempts to go or fade routes against Seattle this year, only 3 were completed, which is partially because of the way Mike Macdonald's scheme operates. Seattle likes to call soft zone match coverages from 2 high safety shells. They try to avoid leaving their wide corners on islands, and those corners are often lined up well off the ball pre-snap, which makes it incredibly difficult for receivers to get behind them. Seattle is inherently well equipped to defend shots down the field to isolated receivers. But that all changes if you can get them out of their comfort zone. It's not easy, only one team has really done it successfully all season, and that's the LA Rams, perhaps because they had 3 chances. In Week 16, the second matchup between LA and Seattle this season, Matthew Stafford ripped those soft zone looks apart. Here, for example, Seattle calls a quarter-half coverage from this 2 high safety shell, which tells the defenders on the strong side to play quarters and the defenders on the weak side to play cover 2. LA called a dagger combination on the 2 receiver side, which is designed to stretch the defense vertically. Tutu Atwell runs vertical to pull the safeties with him, and Puka Nacua runs a deep dig route that gets him into the space vacated by those safeties. The Rams were uniquely equipped to challenge these soft zone looks for a couple reasons, one of which is Stafford's anticipation as a passer. This ball was out well before Puka Nacua reached the open space created by the vertical route from the slot. Stafford led him into that open space with perfect accuracy and got the ball out in under 3 seconds. Concepts like dagger take a long time to develop, so getting the ball out before the rush gets home is not easy, and that's why LA's pass protection was also key in attacking Seattle's favorite coverage calls. Many of the shots downfield that Stafford took in that Week 16 game were only possible because of his offensive line successfully passing off a stunt, or his running back successfully picking up a blitz. When the guys up front aren't generating pressure against a quarterback who shreds zone coverage, the defense has no choice but to change up their calls. And that's what Seattle did in the conference championship. During the regular season, Mike Macdonald's defense had a man coverage call rate of just 21%, but in the NFC Championship game against LA, his man coverage call rate was 39%. He felt like he needed to lean on man calls because Stafford was too effective against Seattle's typical zone calls in Week 16. And those man calls exposed the biggest weakness of this Seahawks defense, their secondary. Stafford went after Josh Jobe, Tariq Woolen, and Devon Witherspoon all day with shots down the field to Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. As I said earlier, the Seahawks only allowed 3 completions to go or fade routes during the entire regular season. They allowed 3 more in this single game against LA. And Mike Macdonald's blitzes that usually get his defenders free shots at the quarterback were nowhere to be found in the NFC Championship. According to Sports Info Solutions, Seattle only called 5 blitzes all game, and against those blitz calls, LA had an offensive success rate of 80%. The few blitzes that Macdonald did send in this game were blocked up, and when he feels like he can't get a free runner into the backfield, he doesn't blitz. Now, Drake Maye is not quite the technician that Matthew Stafford is, but he operates very well against zone coverage calls when the protection holds up. Take this play from the wildcard round against the Chargers as an example. It's first down from the Chargers' 28-yard line, and LA calls a 5-man rush with a 3 deep, 3 underneath structure behind it. New England calls a sail concept, which tells the number 1 receiver to run a vertical route to stretch the secondary, and the number 2 to run a sail route. Usually this combination includes a flat route coming from the backfield, which puts the flat defender in conflict. But here, the back had to pick up the blitz, so there was no receiver occupying the flat. Notice Drake Maye's body language post-snap. He wants to target Hunter Henry on the sail route, but in order to do so, he needs to get Derwin James out of the throwing window. So Maye looks toward the sideline, as if he's going to target a receiver in the flat. There's nobody there, but it didn't matter. Derwin James still bit on the head fake, which gave Maye just enough room to layer the ball over him right into Hunter Henry's hands. This is what it looks like when Drake Maye has time. He is more than capable of manipulating defenders in zone coverage and finding receivers downfield with excellent placement. And as Matthew Stafford showed us, by doing this successfully, you can get the Seahawks to ditch those zone looks in favor of more man looks. And just like the Rams, the Patriots thrive against man coverage. New England obviously doesn't have the receiving talent that LA has, but the Patriots receivers are good enough to challenge Seattle's defensive backs. And no quarterback was better than Drake Maye against man coverage during the regular season. Against man calls, Maye ranked first among qualifiers in completion percentage, yards per attempt, and passer rating. Nobody else was even close in any of those categories. The blueprint laid by Matthew Stafford and the Rams for offensive success against the Seahawks is one that the Patriots need to follow. Getting Seattle into man coverage is by far the best way to beat them. Based on what we've seen this season, it's the only way. In order to do so, Drake Maye will need to rip their zone calls apart. And that's only possible if New England's front can hold up in pass protection. When you're trying to predict what might happen in a football game at any level, all roads lead to the line of scrimmage. The Super Bowl will be no different. The Seahawks have an undeniable advantage up front. New England's offensive line has struggled in pass protection so far in the playoffs, and Drake Maye's inability to protect the ball when he's faced with pressure has only made matters worse. There is a plausible path to offensive success for New England, but that path goes through their offensive line, arguably their biggest weakness. A successful offensive performance for New England is unlikely, but if they can pull it off, it'll go down as one of the great feats of game planning and quarterbacking in modern pro football. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. If you enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button to help us get over 60,000. It's free, and it's the best thing you can do to help me continue making these videos. If you're looking for deeper dives into other elements of this matchup, check out the links in the description for in-depth breakdowns of Mike Macdonald's defense, Clint Kubiak's offense, and the NFC Championship matchup between the Seahawks and the Rams. But that's all I've got for today. So until next time, take care.